good matchup, you would think. PointsBet has set the odds for the Sixers to score 120 or more points tonight at plus 115. So, Mark, do you expect the Sixers to be able to exploit this Pelicans defense and have a big scoring night?
I really do. I think it depends on half court or transition versus the Pelicans team. It don't make a difference. The Sixers get up and down a run, as well as get that ball down Joel, demand a double team, and then guys like Tobias, Seth, Danny Green gonna get off. I mean, this is a game that Ben Simmons needed to take full advantage of his low average game and get back to normal.
What about the three-point? You see that they gave up over 15. You think that could be another factor in this?
You know, but the Sixers are in the bottom of the three-point shots attempted. So I don't know if that benefits the Sixers, but I think it does benefit a couple of players, meaning Danny Green, Seth, and Furkan, and these guys will look to get going.
Well, both of these teams actually live at the free throw line. The Sixers shoot more free throws than any team in the league. The Pelicans are actually third overall in that same category, using their exclusive Name-A-Bet feature, something you guys can use too. PointsBet created this custom wager on which team will make more free throws tonight. You can see the odds right there. So, Mark, when you have such a dominant physical force like Joel Embiid, and then on the flip side for the Pelicans, Zion Williamson, how do you defend those two guys effectively without fouling them all the time?
That's the problem. I mean, you can't.
Yeah.
Because, first of all, they both hit their free throws. Joel, of course, is a better free throw shooter. But it's hard to defend people like that because they're coming at you downhill. Joel does a little bit different. Joel is using a little tactics to make you follow within the rules of the game. Zion just putting his shoulder right in your chest and running through you, forcing you to follow. So two different methods, but they both is equally effective. So I don't know how you stop him without fouling.
Yeah, we know Joel Embiid shoots 86% from the free throw line. Zion Williamson closer to 70%. Yep. So not as deadly when it comes to that. But, man, they certainly do have a march to the free throw line. Let's recap those storylines for you. We're going to see if the Sixers can make a porous Pelicans defense pay tonight. How's that for alliteration? A $10 bet on the Sixers to score 120 or more wins $11.50. And then we have two elite teams when getting to the free throw line using their Name-A-Bet feature. PointsBet created a custom wager on which team will make more free throws tonight. $14 bet on the Sixers wins $10. $10 bet on the Pelicans wins $11. Now, those are just a couple of the hundreds of wagers available at PointsBet for every Sixers game. And if you're feeling really confident about multiple bets tonight, well, don't forget you can combine them together using PointsBet's single game parlay feature, which could mean a much bigger payout if you get them all right. Now, this will be the first time the Sixers face Zion Williamson in his young career. It should be fascinating to see how Doc Rivers matches up with him. He's got two of the best defenders in the league at his disposal, in Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. Here is the Sixers head coach at his pregame media availability down in New Orleans.
Hey, Coach, just kind of speaking of Joel, I know that you guys have a back-to-back tonight and then tomorrow in Oklahoma City. Is there any plan to manage Joel this weekend or no?
No. I mean, we'll see how it goes. I mean, he's just getting back, so we've talked about it, but there's no plan. I mean, we're going to wait until after the game. That's basically what we've done this year. Planning out stuff, doesn't work in a lot of cases. What if the guy plays 20 minutes and he feels great? Should we sit him because we have that plan already? So we've typically waited until after the game to make the decision.
Hey, Doc. This sort of a matchup with you have Steven Adams, you have Zion, and you have you have Brandon Ingram. They kind of all sort of pose different physical not mismatches, but challenges for each of your top, three perimeter defenders with Joel, Ben, and Tobias. Can you sort of talk a little bit to how that sort of changes your typical game plan?
Yeah, I don't know if it changes our game plan much. I mean, we pretty much stick to what we do because that's what we're good at, if you know what I'm saying. Having said that, you're right. All three guys pose a problem. Ingram is out today, I think, from what I hear, and Ball is in, or maybe I've mixed that up. So
Ingram's in, Ball's out.
Yeah, but it still creates just the matchup problems because Ingram is a 2, 1, a 3, so is Ben in a lot of ways. Adams is just a beast on the glass. And, there really is only one guy we want him on or want guarding him, and that is Joel, and maybe Dwight as well. And then Zion, listen, we're still trying to figure out how to guard Zion. I think the whole league is. If I come up with a good plan, I'm sure I'll let everyone know. But I don't, no one's figured it out yet. But we're going to try to tonight.
So obviously Doc asked right off the bat with the back-to-back tonight and then tomorrow in Oklahoma City, what do they do with Joel Embiid? And he answered as honest as I thought we've heard when coaches talk about how they manage Joel Embiid on a back-to-back. We're just going to wait and see. They don't have a set plan. Say if he plays 20 minutes, we don't play him there. Do you like that approach?
I love it. I was about to say common sense. It makes sense. When you plan things, he said it don't often work out that way. You don't know how the game will go. Let's go. Maybe it's a close game. He might end up playing 39, 40 minutes. Then you say, well, maybe we should sit him. It's a blowout. He played 28 minutes. Hey, he's fine to go. I think it's important that you don't plan ahead. You let the game dictate what the future holds.
Well, one thing he was talking about in this game is how to guard Zion Williamson. He said he's got a couple of different things at his disposal. What about Dwight Howard against him? How many fouls do you think Dwight might pull against Zion?
Over and under, Dwight gets 3 in the first 2 minutes of guarding Zion.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, going to be. It's going to be one, because one's definitely going to be a cheap shot to say, hey, young guy, take this elbow to your face. That's one. And then two, he's going to act like he's not looking and swing through and throw Zion to the ground. And then Zion's going to draw one on him. So he's going to get 3 within 2 minutes of guarding.
All right. Well, this is.
You got to put them young guys in place.
I get it. And that's Dwight Howard's role, and I don't mind it. But, this is our first chance to see him, Zion Williamson. Yes. The Sixers have not faced him because he's been hurt a couple different times. It's not like they play them all that much every year. What are you excited to see about with him, with Zion?
I'm going to see. Zion is such a unique talent. He's like, you ever play pickup? Oliver will understand this, Amy. When you would play pickup and you playing pickup with some football players that is so explosive and they just don't have no means for human life, they just run you over and just dunk on you. Yes, I've been dunked on by several football players. It was fun, though. We get back and forth. We used to play 12 o'clock at night to 12 o'clock in the morning. That's another story. Anyway, so that's what Zion is. Like, he's just a unique skill. He's like big. He's burly. He's so explosive. He is the reincarnation of Charles Barkley to me. I don't care what people say. He is Charles Barkley 2.0, and that's a great talent.
I want to hear more about the midnight.
Oh, yeah. Big Johnny, Deuce. We used to go play pickup. They football players explosive now. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah, they're athletes. People forget about that sometimes.
I'm talking about the offensive linemen, yes.
I love it. I love it. All right, still ahead here. We haven't seen George Hill in a game yet, but we have finally heard from him since his trade to the Sixers. You're going to hear his comments, including what Hill thinks he can. Welcome back here to Sixers Pregame Live, and welcome back to the NBA. Isaiah Thomas, the two-time All-Star, signed a 10-day contract with the Pelicans back on April 3rd. He's averaged 10.5 points in 2 games coming off the bench for New Orleans. So, Mark, good in your mind to see IT back, Isaiah Thomas, the other Isaiah Thomas?
I love the fact that he's back in the league, Amy. He shouldn't have been out in the first place. Unforeseen accidents that come, it's just part of the game, part of our careers. But he's always been a very good player. He's always proven doubters wrong ever since college. And I'm just happy to see him back, and I'm hoping that this 10-day becomes a permanent for the year, because all he needs is to show some eyes on him to show he's deserving to be in the league. Yeah,
10.5 points in a couple of games so far. We'll see if he gets in the game tonight against the Sixers. Well, veteran point guard himself, George Hill, does remain out for the Sixers. He has yet to play since being acquired from Oklahoma City at the trade deadline. He did have thumb surgery back on February 2nd. He met with the media yesterday and, not surprisingly, was asked pretty much out of the gates when he thinks he might debut for the Sixers.
No one knows the timetable yet, but I will be back this season for sure. I will be back before playoffs for sure. So just getting everything, going. Once you shut your body down for 3 months or so, not just your finger, but you have to make sure the whole car is, up to date, with your Achilles, your ankles, your legs and things like that. So just getting back into shape, getting back into the rhythm and the groove of just basketball, period. But I think from me coming in the last couple days to now, the progress has been tremendous and has been really going well. So it's going to be sooner than expected.
Have you discussed about what your specific role will be? Will you be coming off the bench? Will you be spending time with the starters? Have you been asked? Have you been told what they can look forward to?
They just want me to be myself. He knows I've never been the type to care about if I'm starting or care about if I'm coming off the bench or how many shots I'm getting or things like that. He knows the only thing that matters to me is winning basketball games, playing the right way and having fun and competing. So if, that's up to the coaches and the staff, if they want me starting or if they come off the bench. But any role they give me, I'm going to embrace with open arms, no matter if it's 30 minutes or 15 minutes. I'm going to go out there and play hard and compete and try to help us win games.
Danny, obviously, a guy you know well, he mentioned to us that you talked this summer about the possibility of teaming up here when you were working out in Texas. Just wondering what that conversation was like and why you saw Philadelphia as somewhere you might want to be.
Yeah, talking to Danny this summer in San Antonio was one of my stepping grounds here was if I can go to a couple places, this was one of my choices. The reason why is I felt like we have a good enough team here to compete for a championship, first of all. I think we have a great coach and a coaching staff to get us there. But, me playing here in Philly as an opponent, you really kind of soak in the tradition here, the way the fans are, the atmosphere they bring. They're diehard fans. You playing good or you playing bad, they're going to let you know. But you want a city like that cares. You want fans that care about their sport, care about their team, and want to see their team win games. So it was a great place. I think they had a lot of guys that I can relate to. I think it was one thing that they were probably missing was outside shooting and things like that outside of Danny and a couple other guys. And just trying to fill that void, to fill that missing piece for a championship.
You heard George Hill talk about a couple of things there. One of them possibly being a piece that could help the Sixers win a championship. I know you've been a big proponent of that. Jim Lynam has been as well. How do you think he fits in to make that happen? And when you look at this playoff rotation?
I think he gives them another guard that every now and then you can throw in the starting lineup. Somebody out, George Hill gets the nod. You need to come off the bench. Shake moves to the 2. And he's a defender. We all wanted Kyle Lowry. A, because he's a Philadelphia native. 2, because he's a champion. He's a winner. But I think George Hill is underrated. He gives us a lot of the similarities as Kyle Lowry. He's a defender. He can hit the open 3. He can distribute the ball. And believe it or not, he can score the ball when needed. And he's not selfish. He'll play his role, whatever the role that is.
Yeah, veteran point guard to kind of be certainly in that second unit, a steady hand. George Hill mentioned his friendship with Danny Green there as well. Green has been everything Daryl Morey could have hoped for, and probably more when he acquired Green in the Al Horford trade on draft night. The Sixers were in desperate need of a high-volume, high-percentage three-point shooter this season. Green has given them exactly that. He's made the 14th most threes in the NBA this season. His three-point percentage, 8th in the league among players who have made at least 100 three-pointers. That is the subject of our Yingling Lager Up. So, Mark, how important is it that Green has had that ability to space the floor, and how important has that been for the Sixers especially?
It's been wonderful. This is his role. His role is to be a 3-and-D guy. Seth Curry was brought here. We spoke a lot about Seth Curry, A, because he's a great player, 2, because of his name. But I think Danny Green was forgotten a little bit because they say he's a little older. But even when he's not making shots, he can miss all his shots. But a team will still guard him because of his career and his history of being a knockdown shooter. He fits so well with Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, and Ben Simmons. Like, it was a perfect mesh. He's been outstanding.
Is he surprised you at all?
No, not at all. This is what I expected. And I thought as the season keeps going, he will get better as it continues to go. And he's proven me right.
You saw him there with Seth Curry, and you mentioned George Hill, obviously being a steady veteran. These are 2 steady veterans. Certainly Danny Green is. He's got 3 rings. How important are guys like Danny Green and Seth Curry in the playoffs? Because Joel Embiid is going to see that double team more so in the postseason than he did in the regular season.
The game slows down, Amy, and they take away a strong point, and everybody else has to get off. They're going to make sure they slow Joel Embiid down. You can't stop him. You got to slow him down. The only way to do that is to double and triple team him. But Joel did such an excellent job passing out the low post this year that you need more floor spacers, and bingo, George Hill fit right in.
Absolutely. Well, the Sixers and the Nets, they continue to jockey for position atop the Eastern Conference, but we're starting to see a little separation after that. Milwaukee has lost its last 2. They have now fallen 3 games back at the Sixers. So, Mark, the Sixers play 2 games in Milwaukee in a couple of weeks coming up. Wouldn't it be nice to build a little cushion over the Bucks before those games?
Absolutely. Any cushion you could get over any and everything is great, but also as the 76ers are looking for challenges. Everyone's in a lineup with the exception of George Hill. We don't know when he'll be back. but you want to test what you have. You don't want to run away from competition, Amy. Let me tell you something. The Bucks twice at their place could be at their place, the backyard brew, wherever you want it. We can get it in. My 5 versus your 5, or in this case, my 12 versus your 12. Let's see the best team provide. This is the ultimate twist, not just for the 76ers and the Milwaukee Bucks, but personally for Giannis and Joel Embiid. Who's the best?
Absolutely. It'll be a fun one coming up. Well, normally a team like the Pelicans that is 7 games under 500 would be pretty much playing out the string right now. But with the advent of the play-in tournament, this season it gives New Orleans a shot. Because right now the Pelicans are 11th in the West, 2 games back of the Warriors in that final playoff spot for the play-in game. So, Mark, do you think a team like the Pelicans better off going all out? Let's make that play-in tournament. Let's get that 10 seed and see where, what we can do. Or let's just, maybe pull a couple of guys out of the lineup and we play for some more ping pong balls in the lottery.
Amy, it's interesting to see because I love the approach they have with Zion. They're not babying Zion. Mm-hmm. He's playing good minutes. They're not saying, let's micromanage you, let's do that. No, go out and play, Zion. You 20 years old, go out and do your thing, and I love that. So as long as you got Zion on the floor, you have a chance to sneak off some wins. So I wouldn't count them out ping pong ball chasing yet. I think while Zion's out there, and we didn't even mention Lonzo Ball.
Yeah. Lonzo
Ball is not playing tonight, but listen, him and Ingram, those 3 are formidable. They have a chance to win and sneak up on some games because all you worry about is their record and not their personnel, and that's how you get clipped.
So would you rather them get maybe some kind of playoff experience rather than maybe get another young all-star talent in a draft?
I think they're going to try to go for it.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to do I'm not going to call no names, the Toronto Raptors sitting guys, even though they're healthy and saying they're injured. They're not going to do that. I think they're going to go for it. They got young guys that can play and they want to play. And I don't think they're going to fake an injury or say they're not playing and sit them.
All right, maybe they can get into that 8, 9, 10 play-in game. 7, 8, 9, 10. It's going to be a fun one. All right, up next on this show, Ben Simmons was the runaway Rookie of the Year. Donovan Mitchell called and said, that's right, in 2018. Lonzo.
There's no better place to bet the NBA than on FanDuel Sportsbook. Bet every game, all season long, with live betting from tip-off right through the final whistle. Want even more action? Try a same-game parlay. And after that final, get your winnings in as little as 24 hours. Place your first bet risk-free and get up to $1,000 back if you don't win. FanDuel Sportsbook, more ways to win.
Welcome back here to Sixers Pregame Live, and take your shot at the all-new pick and roll game in the NBC Sports Predictor app powered by PointsBet. You can play for free for a chance to win cash prizes up to $50,000. Scan the QR code that you see there at the bottom of your screen to download the app for your chance to win. All right, let's take a look at Ben Simmons getting ready for tonight's game in New Orleans. Not too far from where he played his 1 year of college ball. Simmons had 12 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists Tuesday against the Celtics. It's going to be the first matchup against the Pelicans for him this season. Unfortunately, we will not get to see Simmons go against Lonzo Ball. Ball out with a sore hip. They are both now in their 4th NBA season. While Simmons is already a 3-time All-Star, Lonzo is closing the gap maybe more than you might think, at least in some of the numbers. Lonzo averaging 14.5 points, just slightly under what Ben Simmons is doing this season. While Simmons shoots a much higher percentage from the field, Lonzo makes up the difference from the three-point line. He attempts 8 threes a game, which is 2/3 of his field goal total attempts, making a little over 38% of them. So, Mark, neither guy is probably ever going to average 25 points. But do you think Lonzo Ball has closed the gap a bit on Ben?
I think he has. And let me tell you why. Lonzo Ball came in the NBA as not being a three-point shooter and refused to take them. He might have took 1 or 2 a game. Now he's shooting 8 a game. That's evolving. That's getting better. That's doing what's needed from the team. Do I think he's better than Ben Simmons? Not quite yet, but he's darn sure gaining because of his ability and his will to do what's needed to help the team win, and he's knocking them down too. Let's not get it twisted.
Yeah, I was going to say he shoots at him at a pretty, 38% clip. Is defense the big separator when you think about the talent level between Simmons and Lonzo Ball?
Absolutely, Amy. The ability to defend multiple positions, to me, Ben Simmons is the best defender in the league, and that's the big edge he has, Lonzo. And I think Lonzo's a very good rebounder, too, so I wouldn't give Ben the huge edge. I'll give him a little bit. But Ben's ability to guard anyone, we'll see tonight, because I believe he'll be guarding Zion, too, and as well as whoever. He might be guarding Ingram. He can guard whoever, and he's going to get the job done.
We've seen Ben make 3 All-Star games Lonzo not made one yet. I mean, he's obviously been in the conversations at times. He's had some injury issues over the years, but do you think he has a chance to make that jump, to be an all-star level player and make an all-star game in the next 2 to 3?
You know, Amy, 2 to 3, I don't know, but I think he has that potential. And why do I say that? Because you look, wins help all-stars, help make you an all-star. Can you lead a team to a winning record? He's not by himself. Zion and Brandon Ingram are some unique talents. And if Lonzo keep progressing like he has since day one, yes, he has a shot.
Okay, so we know that LaMelo Ball surprised a lot of people, and he was kind of the front runner before he got injured for the Rookie of the Year. Has Lonzo surprised you at all with his development?
Absolutely. I think his little brother benefited from having two bigger brothers that used to beat up on him and used to play up with him all the time. And he has a little bit more confidence, a little more added to his game because of the freedom he had. Lonzo has, I said it before, his improvement. You know, a lot of time we get complacent in life, and that's when we start getting stagnant. If you're willing to improve no matter what it is, the sky's the limit. And Lonzo's showing that he has a lot of haters, primarily because of his dad, but he has a lot of haters. Lonzo's been a good player, and he's developing to a better player right before our eyes.
I think you're talking to your boys when you're talking about the big brothers beating up on little brothers.
There you go.
Sammy's listening right now. I can tell. All right, time for tonight's starting lineups. The Sixers have their usual starting 5 out there. Ben Simmons, Seth Curry at the guards, Danny Green, Tobias Harris at forward, and then there he is, the man in the middle, Joel Embiid. It's going to be a big game for Curry and Green. Pelicans allow the most threes at over 15 per game in the NBA. For New Orleans, going big with Eric Bledsoe and 6'7" undrafted Najee Marshall in the backcourt. Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson, the two guys out of Duke, at forward, and then the rugged veteran Steven Adams in the middle. As we mentioned, no Lonzo Ball. He is out tonight with a hip injury. Let's go on the floor for some of these pregame warm-ups down in New Orleans. And it is the first time Zion Williamson will ever face the Sixers. He loves to get to the basket and finish through that contact. You broke it down so well for us earlier in the show. How's that going to work with Joel Embiid down there, though?
You know, I really believe, I think Ben Simmons get a knock at him. I think Tobias will get a lick at him. But I think it's important once he gets to the